Happy Friday. Thanks for starting the afternoon with us here on THV 11 News at Noon. I'm Michael Aaron here with meteorologist Nathan Scott. It was a really cold morning. I was out there all bundled up this morning.
It was,
yes. I'm sure a lot of people were. And it's a big weekend in terms of weather because we have the marathon. We have all kinds of Christmas, holiday events. Hunting, duck hunting, of course.
Lots going on, and we do have some changes to talk about going into the weekend. Saturday we're good, Michael, but Sunday, you see behind us, rain starts to be on the increase. Sunday morning for Little Rock Marathon, there could be a few showers around. I think for the most part, most of the rain will hold off until we get afternoon and into the afternoon hours. But let's talk about this morning because it was the coldest morning that we have seen so far this season. Started out today 31 at Little Rock, but look at all the widespread 20s. 20 in Arkadelphia, 20 was the number in Fayetteville, and we start to rebound nicely. Upper 40s, low 50s, lots of sun. We'll hang on to mostly sunny skies throughout your Friday. Some high clouds drifting in here later in the day. Temperatures topping out, I think, into the low to mid 50s, and then going into the evening, it'll be cool. So if you're heading to those Friday night football games, you'll have to bundle up. I'll have more on that system for the weekend and also what you can expect for your Thanksgiving holiday coming up later.
Let's get to our big story. All new at noon. All U.S. adults just got another step closer to becoming eligible for COVID booster shots. The FDA has authorized a third dose of both the Pfizer and Moderna shots. And as Skylar Henry reports, a CDC advisory panel takes up the matter today.
The FDA gave emergency use authorization Friday morning to both Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccine booster shots to all Americans 18 and older, giving U.S. adults the choice of which vaccine to get.
We're pretty comfortable seeing these vaccines mixed if necessary.
In a statement, the agency said additional data from real-world use enabled the FDA to reassess the benefits and risks of boosters for all adults. The CDC must still weigh in before a third dose is given the green light. An advisory panel takes up the new recommendations in a meeting this afternoon. The White House says it has the supply ready once it's given the final approval.
We'd like to see more people getting booster shots who are eligible to get that extra protection against COVID-19 now, especially going into the holiday season.
The push to expand vaccine eligibility comes as the CDC reports an increase in breakthrough infections.
It's a killing disease, and I've come close to it, mighty close.
In Michigan, 73-year-old Twilla Harrison has been hospitalized for 2 months with COVID-19, despite being fully vaccinated.
If you're not vaccinated, I'll tell you flat out, you're a fool. Because that's the worst thing that you can do is get out and spread this disease.
The CDC says the average pace of Americans getting their first dose of the vaccine is at its highest since August. A third of those shots went to children ages 5 to 11, who became eligible earlier this month. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
The CDC says more than 400,000 people received their first dose across the country yesterday. Arkansas State Police have reached a settlement in a lawsuit over one of its troopers using a pit maneuver. Janice Harper sued the agency after the trooper used the technique for ending a chase on her vehicle while trying to pull her over last year. Harper, who was pregnant at the time, says she had turned her hazard lights on and was looking for a safe place to pull over. On top of the settlement, ASP is also changing its policy regarding pit maneuvers. You just saw it right there in that video. We're going to have more on this story coming up tonight right here at 5 and 6. The jury is back at work deciding the fate of Kyle Rittenhouse. The 18-year-old is on trial for killing 2 men and wounding a third last year in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Michael George has the very latest from the courthouse.
We're here in Kenosha, Wisconsin on day 4 of jury deliberations in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. The jury's been deliberating for more than 20 hours at this point, and we've heard very little from them. One of the few questions they've asked the judge is to review some of the videos that were taken on the night of that incident last year when Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 people, killing 2. Now, the defense has argued it was in self-defense, but the prosecution says that Rittenhouse himself was the instigator of the violence. Now, throughout the deliberations, there have been small groups of protesters here, some in support of Kyle Rittenhouse, some pushing for his conviction. We asked some of the protesters what they think about the length of the jury deliberation.
We didn't want it rushed. We didn't want it hurried. We didn't want facts and video and evidence to be ignored. This jury has shown a tremendous amount of due diligence in their duty to make sure that we get a right and just verdict.
I'm not. I appreciate them working hard to find out the correct answers and solutions. The balance and the weight of this will carry on 50 to 100 years from here.
Are you surprised that they're taking this long?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I think it's a bad sign.
But regardless of all the speculation, it seems the only people who know which way this case will go are the 7 women and 5 men in the jury deliberation room. Michael George, CBS News, Kenosha, Wisconsin.
In Georgia now, dramatic testimony from the man who killed Ahmaud Arbery. Travis McMichael took the stand for a second day of cross-examination on Thursday and admitted that Arbery never actually threatened him before Arbery was gunned down.
He has not threatened you?
No.
Hasn't pulled out a gun?
No, ma'am.
Hasn't pulled out a knife?
He did not.
Still arms at his sides?
That's correct.
And he's trying to get away from you?
And I was letting him run away, yes, ma'am.
Attorneys for all 3 defendants rested their case yesterday, but before they did, one of the defense attorneys reached out to prosecutors offering a plea deal. Prosecutors talked to the Arbery family and ultimately denied the request. The jury will now hear closing arguments on Monday. Less than a week until Thanksgiving now, and many families and friends are looking to spend the holiday together this year, and they're wondering how to celebrate safely. Some are also wondering if they should host a holiday gathering with loved ones who are unvaccinated for COVID-19. Laura Podesta has tips on navigating the situation.
Danica Brown was looking forward to getting together with her entire extended family for Thanksgiving. But then she found out to receive an invite, she had to get the COVID-19 vaccine.
Why were you hesitant?
Just because it was so new.
A recent poll of more than 2,000 people, including more than 1,400 who are vaccinated, shows half are hesitant to spend the holidays with unvaccinated family and friends.
If you take some pretty simple steps, you can actually get together with your family indoors without a mask. The risk will not be nil, but it will be much, much, much lower than it could be.
Dr. William Hanage with Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health puts vaccination at the top of that list.
If you're not vaccinated, or if you're around people who aren't for whatever reason, you can reduce risk by things like using rapid tests. People can take a rapid test before coming to the Thanksgiving meal.
Gather outdoors if possible. If you're indoors, open the windows if weather allows, and consider getting a HEPA air purifier. Dr. Hanage says it's important to remember the risk is not the same for everyone.
If you're going to a Thanksgiving party with older, vulnerable relatives, I do encourage you to make sure that you're vaccinated, to try and avoid becoming infected in the run-up, and to take a rapid test before you get in there, because that will help ensure that you do not transmit the virus to people who could suffer severe disease, even those who are vaccinated.
Danica decided to get the shot.
Did you choose to get the vaccine because you wanted to be protected or specifically to go to Thanksgiving dinner?
I literally got it to go to Thanksgiving dinner.
She's thankful to be spending the day with family this year. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Experts say we should expect to see a surge of COVID cases after Thanksgiving, but they're hopeful the consequences will be different than last year because people who are vaccinated are more protected against serious illness, hospitalization, and death. After an 8-month delay because of COVID, the Little Rock Marathon is back. The event-filled weekend kicks off today with the Health and Fitness Expo. You can see them setting up for that right there. It is now underway. The 5K and 10K races are tomorrow, and the main events, the half marathon and marathon, of course, those are Sunday. Organizers expect 5,000 to 6,000 runners, about 60% of them coming from outside of Central Arkansas, and those runners will have to follow a number of COVID precautions.
We've got a smaller field, going to space people out in the start line, so the runners will know when they're in the start line they're going to be required to wear a mask if they're unvaccinated, but as soon as they cross the start line they can take it off.
Let's talk about the impacts on the roads now. La Harpe Boulevard from State Street to Clinton Avenue is now closed. This is a big one. It's not going to reopen until Sunday evening, so you can expect a mess downtown tonight, especially on that evening commute. There's also rolling street closures that you see on that map around the River Market and along the course. So keep that in mind if you'll be out and about this weekend. You can find the full map and more race info on the Marathon's website.